Hi there, let me talk to you about vitamin C. Vitamin C is the most wonderful substance in nature in many ways. A tiny little amount will stop you dying of scurvy, and yet you can take it by the spoonful and it won't be toxic, it won't do you any harm. And there are very few substances like that. Even water isn't much, so you can die of too much water. So vitamin C is pretty wonderful. And I've often said in my writings that if I could use no other medical or healing substance except vitamin C, I'd be happy about that. That was the only thing I was allowed to use as a doctor. I'd still be curing hundreds of thousands. Listen, you can cure millions, billions of people by the judicious use of vitamin C. It's such a wonderful substance. I used to run a quiz, 10-point quiz, see if you can guess the 10 points. Well, we'll just go through the 10 points, never mind the quiz part. First of all, it's antibacterial. So if you're fighting any kind of infection, you would like to have, it doesn't matter whether it's in your lungs, a sore, wound, a bone, wherever there's bacterial infection, vitamin C will help fight that. And in the same way, it's a very good antiviral. You probably know about Linus Pauling saying take 2 grams a day of vitamin C and you'll never get a cough or a cold or the flu. It's that good. It also is anti-inflammatory. Now, the FDA doesn't like us saying this because that means it's a drug. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous. Garlic's anti-inflammatory. Boswellia is anti-inflammatory. These are natural herbal substances that work as anti-inflammatories. Nature's full of anti-inflammatory substances. Vitamin C is also an antioxidant. Now, oxidation is a scientific technical term, means it's stripping off electrons from molecules. And of course that causes damage, and it's very bad for biological forms. It stops the proper pathways working. Well, the great thing about vitamin C is that it donates electrons, and it's very keen to donate electrons. It's happy to thrust electrons at these damaged molecules and put them right again. So it's got a very strong antioxidant property, which is one of the most powerful things that we need against today's very toxic world. And there's the point, really. Vitamin C is actually a great detoxer. Now, this is where orthodox colleagues just don't get it. They think of vitamin C, you need a few milligrams and that cures everything, you won't die of scurvy. But these tiny amounts have nothing to do with optimum health, because vitamin C has other functions way beyond being a vitamin. Maybe it's a pity it's called vitamin C. If we call it something else, they might understand. It has fantastic detox properties. If you've got chemical poisoning, chemical overload, bad things are going on in your body, bacterial toxins, viral toxins, vitamin C is there. It's there to help you. It's on your side. It's a wonderful detoxer, and that's one of its best points. In fact, it works alongside almost any remedy or health cure or treatment that you want. It will help other remedies work a bit better because of these fantastic properties. Now, there's some other specific things. It works on enzyme pathways that ready or prepare the substance called carnitine, which is a fantastic mitochondrial food that's very important to us. Something you won't typically read elsewhere, but it's very important, that vitamin C is very good at cleaning out fermentation organisms and things in the upper gut. Your candida, yeasts, molds, those, fermentation. Vitamin C is great for that. And if you've got candida or any tendency to that sort of thing, dysbiosis, then you ought to be taking vitamin C, which will heal wonderfully. It's very good for teeth and gums, oral hygiene, it's cleaning and cleansing. But here's another very important one too, which is it's essential in the manufacture of collagen. Now that's especially important to older folks, those who are fighting wrinkles and bags under the eyes and things like that. Without vitamin C, you can't make enough collagen, so your skin won't stay elastic. And your tissues as a whole, in fact, your tendons and muscles, collagen is everywhere in your body. And it's very important that we keep up our level of collagen. As I said, vitamin C is essential for that process. So if you don't have enough vitamin C, then you're for sure not going to have enough collagen to prevent the ravages of aging. Okay. Did I, by the way, mention it cures scurvy? I think I did, yes. That's just a joke. Of course, that's the only thing that orthodox doctors will believe in. But here's something else very important. It does have anti-cancer properties. Now, we're not supposed to say this, of course. The FDA hates us saying this. But there's a very interesting study that came out recently comparing the effect of vitamin C and grapeseed extract with the chemotherapy agent doxorubicin. Doxorubicin is one of the biggest chemo substances. A lot of patients with a lot of cancers get put on this stuff. Well, believe it or not, vitamin C and grapeseed extract were just as good as doxorubicin. I'm not saying they're better. They were just as good in the effect, but the difference was there are no side effects, whereas doxorubicin is very rough. Patients who take that, it's horrible. In fact, it's called the red devil. It's red, right? So that, hence the word rubicin. But it doesn't have any other side effects. Vitamin C and grapeseed extract. I thought you'd be keen to know that too. Okay, how much? Well, I already said, Linus Pauling said at least 2 grams. I would raise that to at least 5 grams daily. Bear in mind that goats, for example, which are about the same weight as humans, they make 12 to 15 grams a day. They make their own. We can't make our own. So we have to swallow it, and that's why it's a vitamin. It's an essential substance that we have to intake or imbibe or ingest in order to survive. Okay, so if you're fighting anything like stress, infections, and so on, I would bump it to 15 or 20 grams a day. The trouble is you can't take that much in one hit. It will really upset your bowel. In fact, it will rush through and probably not so much get to your blood. It's much better if you want to take 20 grams, yes, just take it a little at a time, sipping it frequently during the day. This is where my own vitamin C preparation comes in. I call it Super C because it's specially designed not to upset your gut so that you can tolerate it. It won't cause stomach cramps and diarrhea like raw vitamin C tends to do. You probably know that. And of course, it also tastes disgusting. It's very sour. But my Super C isn't like that. As well as the vitamin C, there's large amounts of D-ribose, which is a great heart muscle food. And in fact, a mitochondrial food. There's MSM in there, which is good for your joints and collagen, and a little bit of EDTA, which is a chelating agent. Like I said, formulated to be tolerated. Now, we're all different, so I suppose there'll be 0.5% or 1% of people who maybe can't tolerate it. But it's virtually certain that you'll be able to do so. It's made that way. And lots of people love it because it isn't, vitamin C. It's, vitamin C. And it does all these wonderful things. It's very easy to take 5 grams, 10 grams, 15 grams a day without upsetting your guts or getting diarrhea. Okay, well, I hope you found that enlightening. There's a lot to vitamin C, as you see, and it's not just a vitamin. It had all these other fabulous properties too, which orthodox doctors just miss out on. Well, it's just a vitamin, isn't it? That's what they think, and of course they're missing the point. Anyway, now you're wiser. Thank you. Take care.